Hello everyone. So today this week really, I figured we would go in a completely different direction than I have been doing with two new TikTok channels to look at. Today we're going to look at A Witchy Dream, and part of the reason why I chose her is that even though she is a fat activist, as we can see here, fat with sparkles, You Can Call Me Dream, Advocate Witch Pan, Road to 50K, and for some reason a dollar sign, A Witchy Dream. I don't know if that's like a Cash App thing. I don't know. Regardless, I just figured we would kind of. I feel a little bit like I've been reviewing the same people, and I just want to switch it up. I need some novelty in my life. So we're gonna go ahead. Fun fact: I'm doing this an hour after I've woken up, and I've never done it this early, like after getting up before, so we'll see if I am meaner, nicer, or if I just say less. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure how well my brain is functioning right now. I did have my coffee, so I should be okay. So while we're scrolling, because it's going to take us a while, because I've looked and we're, like, despite the fact, I don't know if you guys can see how small this is, we're only like 3 months back. It's going to take me a while. But there is something I wanted to say because I think I forgot to finish a thought before. You guys know, I just woke up. Well, not just woke up. You know what I mean. Anyway, so part of the reason why I chose her is because, yes, she's a fat, like, advocate. She does the whole, all of those lines of thinking. But then she also has many TikToks that are not in that vein. So I'm thinking, I was trying to choose someone that I thought I would be able to get through fairly quickly, and I'm talking like 1 or 2 parts, maybe up to 3. I wanted someone that I could get through fairly quickly. Did not realize how prolific she was. Just so we're clear, we are only in September. I still have a ways to go. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys that, just wanted to finish that thought. I chose her because I thought I'd be able to get through her quickly. I didn't check. This was completely on a whim. I made a mistake, but we're going with it. Alright, so I've still been scrolling. We're only in May. But scrolling like this, I have had some time to think about my life choices. And I also wanted to give another thought of, I'm going into Witchy Dream with very little background on her, because for the most part, the only ones that I've seen with her in them are her dancing to like a body positive song, and I don't really feel the need to cover those. But I know that she's made some other like fat acceptance style stuff. So I mean, this may end up being a dud. I may very well end up scrolling through 90% of this without commenting on it. And it's something I've done on a whim, and we're just going to go with it this week. Alright, I had to stop and readjust the width of the screen, and while I was doing, I got everything set up and ready to fucking go, and you know what fucking happened? TikTok glitched the fuck out, sent me to the For You fucking page, and I lost all of my progress scrolling through her fucking TikTok. I'm so mad. I am so mad. This is gonna take me for fucking ever to get back because she has so fucking much. Why? Why? I don't understand, honestly. And feel free to call me a boomer. I am not a fan of TikTok. I'm not a fan of the way granted, I do everything well, it's a laptop, but desktop view, basically. Because I like having a fucking keyboard. I know that TikTok wasn't really designed for a desktop look, or for, like, the desktop function. But, my fucking god, you'd think that it would work better than it does. TikTok has pissed me off in so many different ways while recording. I don't like TikTok. I don't mind short form video content. I think that there's plenty of entertainment to be gained from this type of content. But I prefer YouTube shorts. Alright, this is an unfortunate screen pause on her, but I am afraid of closing out this window again because I cannot be sent back to the fucking For You page. I can't have that happen to me again. this took like 15 minutes to finally get to our first TikTok. So it's irrelevant. We're not going to watch it because it looks like it's just like astrology stuff, which is fine, but not what I cover on this channel. And we're going to start moving forward. So we are starting off from February 1st of 2022, and we're going to try to get through the year. We're not going to get through the year in this fucking video, and I get a feeling it's going to take us a lot fucking longer than the 1 or 2 videos I thought it was going to take. I was not expecting her to have this much of a fucking backlog in TikToks, and I meant to show you guys, because I realized when I was recording the first time that I didn't, include the scroll bar, which I wish I could have. I can't close this out again. I can't be sent back to the For You page. I can't have that happen to me. We're just going on. Okay, we're going on. This has already been an ordeal.
Grow up. So that was the last video I posted on my account. Thankfully some stitches are still showing.
Okay, so I was fully planned. This is gonna be the first one that I responded to. Why did it mute partway through? I'm not gonna finish this because we've already had a lot muted out of it. But does anyone know why that happened? So I'm not very TikTok literate. Why does muting happen? Is that something that she did? Is that something that a Witchy Dream did? Or is that something that TikTok does? Because this isn't the first time this has happened. And I'm wondering why it sometimes mutes.
That's so funny because I used to go to the gym all the time and it didn't change the way that I looked. You're gonna look like what you fucking look like, so you better learn to love yourself and be a better person instead of being a shitty person like you are right now.
Okay, so finally, I'm 20 minutes into my second recording, which means we are 25 minutes in, and I've finally come across something that I can respond to. Because for the vast majority, we're on February 22nd. We started on February 1st, and we had that one that muted partway through, and nothing since then. Primarily, this woman does, just those filters of, what's your toxic trait, what Disney character do you look like, etc., etc. So far, I haven't really hit a whole lot. I know she is a, fat activist, but she strikes me as someone that clearly, leans towards the fat acceptance movement, but it doesn't seem like it's her whole personality the way it is with a lot of others. It's just, it's an opinion that she has. And I gotta be honest, so far, I have not disliked her content. It's not something I would personally choose to consume, but it's pretty innocuous. And the one thing I am going to stand up for her here with is because this comment says, this motivates me to keep going to the gym so I won't become Lee. I think that's meant to be ill. Maybe? I don't know. Or so I won't become like this. Okay, that's what it says. So I won't become like this. Thank you. Now, I disagree with her in that you can't change the way you look through diet and exercise. I think you absolutely can. So her and I have differing opinions on that front. That being said, I think that this comment, unless she's taking this from a fucking year ago, is out of fucking line because she's pregnant. She's been pregnant. She's been showing off her belly. She is currently 38 weeks pregnant. So if this wasn't taken from many months ago, this person, I am very much against the criticism of weight for pregnant women. I understand that you can gain too much weight when you're pregnant. Pregnancy, though, is something that can wreak havoc on the body and is so hard that apart from your doctor, unless your doctor's the one that's telling you, everyone else needs to shut the fuck up. It's the one thing where it's no, do not comment on how much a pregnant woman has gained during her pregnancy unless you are her doctor. Unless you are her doctor, maybe her spouse who sat in with the doctor and the doctor has some concerns and the spouse has concerns, then fine, whatever. Maybe family that knows the situation. If someone else has heard from the doctor that she's gained too much weight during the pregnancy and they express concern over that, that's something else. As an outsider looking at someone else on the internet, she is pregnant. Shut the fuck up. It is one of those things where there is so much going on with a pregnancy that commenting on the way, I think she was like really overweight before this. Beside the point right now. She is pregnant, very pregnant. I've seen her belly because she does these like pregnancy updates. And she is very pregnant. She's 38 weeks along. She's very pregnant. Leave her alone. This is one of those things where it's like I will argue any like fat acceptance rhetoric she puts out there, but when it comes to talking about how she looks, she is pregnant. She's very pregnant. It's one of the it crosses a line for me. Leave her alone. If you are her doctor and she has gained too much weight during a pregnancy, that's one thing. You are a stranger on the internet. She's very pregnant. Leave her alone.
I hate to be the one to tell you, but you probably have an eating disorder now. That's what happened to me after years of trying to be in a calorie deficit. Good luck with that.
Okay, and so just so everyone's clear, the comment she's responding to says eat less calories. It's really simple. You can change how you look easily. I lost 74 kilograms in a year. I do want to start off with this again by saying she is still like 38 weeks pregnant. Here there's a little bit more going on. I would not recommend her doing anything to her diet without talking to her doctor, personally. That being said, what she just said was kind of a load of bullshit. So, the caption she has says, "Don't tell people that they shouldn't eat. This is your sign to go eat something." And I don't like that. You're also gonna gain that weight back plus some as soon as you stop eating less calories because you messed up your body by, I think that's supposed to be starving it for over a year. So here's the thing though. Just because you're in a calorie deficit doesn't mean you're starving. Number one. Just because you go into a calorie deficit to lose some weight doesn't mean you have an eating disorder. You can have a moderate calorie deficit. You can have a small to moderate calorie deficit and be fine. And this whole, you're going to gain that weight back plus some as soon as you stop eating less calories. That's the thing, though. That's the thing, is that you don't stop eating less calories. That's the whole point of the lifestyle changes. You take in, chances are, I'm not commenting on her during her pregnancy. I'm commenting like before this and probably after this, where and it still holds true even though she's pregnant. I just don't like people telling pregnant women to lose weight unless you are her doctor, because it's such a sensitive thing to me that it's like, leave her. If you're not her doctor or you are not privy to her medical information, leave her alone. That's my stance on that. That being said, the goal of the general calorie deficit and losing weight like this is for it to be something sustainable. The goal is for you to not stop eating less calories. You will always just be eating lower calories than you were before. If you go from eating a 2,700 calorie a day diet and not being very active to maintaining your current level of activity but eating 1,800 calories a day, well, that's a pretty drastic step. So we'll even just like simplify it. We'll make it a more gradual, because that would be a pretty big leap. But let's say you're eating 2,700 calories a day, and you go from eating that to 2,500 calories a day. So just like a 200 calorie deficit, you will lose weight over time because you are taking in fewer calories. If nothing else changes, just that 200, and that 200 calories really isn't that big of a deal. All you have to do is like cut out soda if you're drinking soda or any liquid that has like a lot of calories in it and a lot of sugar. Like for me, it's like target the high sugar drinks first. And the goal would be for you to not go like spend a year doing that and then going back to drinking the high sugar, high calorie drinks. Those drinks are just kind of cut out from your diet, and maybe you have one every once in a while, but the goal would be for that to be out of your diet on a regular basis. And you would be able to maintain that weight loss over time if that was the only thing that you did. By simply maintaining that habit, the weight would not come back. Theoretically, in that if you then replace the high calorie drinks with like an extra snack in the day, then no, you're not gonna lose the weight. But on its head, cutting out 200 calories a day, and you keep that 200 calories gone. Like, you don't go back to eating 2,700 calories a day. You just eat the 2,500 calories. Then you would consistently reach a weight that is in line with that new calorie intake. And then if you plateau and you're still overweight, then maybe you reduce it down to 2,300 calories a day. Depending on how active you are. Like, I don't like this. Well, if you're eating in a calorie deficit, then you have an eating disorder. It pisses me off. It does. It pisses me off because it's like, no, that's not how that works. Simply eating a small to moderate, eating in a small to moderate calorie deficit does not mean that you have an eating disorder.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow.
Okay, so her caption for this video says, "I'm commenting because I care about your health. Please eat less." And I think what she's getting at is, like, asking someone to eat less isn't caring about their health. She is, like, I think no more than maybe just over 2 weeks postpartum. So for me personally, you're still dealing with a newborn. I ain't saying shit. But in regards to, like, pre-pregnancy and stuff, I still think that this kind of comment, this "I care about your health, so please eat less," just comes across, I do think that it comes across a bit condescending. She's gonna believe what she's gonna believe, and you saying, I do this because I care about your health, just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I think there's one thing for calling people out, like saying that any sort of calorie deficit is somehow an eating disorder. I think calling someone out for that is, like, I understand that. I think saying that, you know, I've seen, like, maybe commenting on someone's what I eat in a day where they say they're eating healthy and you point out, actually, this isn't as healthy as you think it is, and give, like, XYZ explanation. Like, that I understand, because you need to kind of, or at the very least, you want to at least make sure the information is correct. If someone is just kind of living their life and you're coming at this from, "I'm worried about your health," I don't know. It just, there's something condescending there that I don't particularly care for. That being said, I still think that, yes, eating less when things are at a, like, normal state, you're not pregnant, you don't have all of that going on, and it's just you're working with your body to lose the weight. A small to moderate calorie deficit isn't going to hurt you.
Post about how they are pregnant, and they also happen to be plus size.
So I recently just gave birth, and I shared my pregnancy experience on here. I'm also plus size. And the amount of fucking hate that I got is, like, I was already getting hate for being, like, plus size, but it didn't stop or slow down or anything like that when people found out that I was pregnant. People are fucking rude. People said things like, "Oh, I feel bad for their kids." I still got death threats even though I was pregnant. I didn't even get a break from hate comments in the hospital. Literally, I've been cut open, and I'm still having to deal with fucking hate comments from weird, creepy weirdos on the internet. It's not fucking right.
Alright, so I actually have some thoughts on this. I do kind of want to know what she defines as hate comments, because we got death threats, and death threats are never okay. Unfortunately, it is something kind of like being on the internet. Personally, I can't say for her. It's her life. She knows what she can deal with. If I were in the hospital having just given birth and I'm sharing this, well, I honestly, I don't know if I would share it as it's happening. I might share it afterwards when I'm in a better more stable mental place. But if I'm in the hospital and I'm dealing with this kind of big thing, I think I would take a break from social media. And I think that it's wrong that she got death threats and hate comments and bullshit while she was having her C-section and dealing with all of that. That being said, I think this was a situation where she should have kind of prioritized herself a little bit more and kind of stayed offline for at least a few days, because you're in a pretty vulnerable space, both physically and mentally. I would think. Granted, I've never been pregnant. I've never given birth. So, if any of you have, and I am completely missing the mark, feel free to tell me so. I'm of two minds on this. On the one hand, I agree that it's not right. Yes, it's terrible that she got like hate comments and death threats while pregnant. Unfortunately, that's not uncommon for pregnant women. There pregnant. I think like the isn't the number one killer of pregnant women murder. Isn't that like one of the top reasons pregnant women die is because of murder? Number one. So unfortunately, there is just this weird thing. But even when I was working in a public library, there was a pregnant librarian, and there was this woman that came up to her like every day saying she was gonna kill her because she was pregnant. The woman ended up quitting her job as her pregnancy progressed. She thought about taking a leave of absence, but the constant like threats. I'm trying to remember. Like I think we banned a couple of people, but I don't think there was enough done for precautions for that person, and I understand why she quit. But unfortunately, this is something, and it's weird because I am the type of person that's like, if you can't handle it, stay off the internet. But when it comes to pregnancy, there is this weird thing where it's like it's weirdly targeted and it's scary, and I do feel sorry for her, and I do feel sorry for pregnant women that have to deal with that. Like I would think that it's pretty terrifying when you're already like when there's always already like the hormones and you're already vulnerable to have this like additional aggression towards you. That being said, I think if it was too much for her, I would hope that she would have taken a break from social media, because the one benefit about online is you can unplug and take a step back and no one can say boo, no one can get in your space. They can send you DMs all they want. If you're not looking, you're not going to see it. So in that way, I think if it was too much for her, she should have taken a step back. In real life, it's much scarier because you don't necessarily have that option. So this wasn't super like fat acceptance related, but it was something I felt the need to comment on.
A reminder that if you find something attractive in someone else, you have to find it attractive in yourself.
And that's actually how I started finding myself attractive. So like as a fat person, society makes you hate yourself. And when I started my self-love journey, it was because I saw other fat people loving themselves. And I was like, yeah, we are sexy bitches, you know? So I just started following other fat people who also like felt that they were hot and believed in themselves, and that made it like so much easier to believe in myself and like think that I was hot. Because it's not like I went all the time hating myself or anything like that. But the things that I was hating about myself, it was making me see them in a different light and love them so much more, you know.
So here's the thing with this personally is I disagree that if you find something attractive in someone else, then you have to find it attractive in yourself, because body fat distribution is different. There's just a general, like, I think most of us, if not all of us, have this kind of idealized version of ourselves in our head, and there's multiple facets to that, and one of them is physical. And if you find something attractive in someone else, but it's not part of how you view your ideal self, it's not bad to like not find it attractive. I just don't like this connection, and I've seen it with a lot of FAs. I don't like the connection of, like, if you dislike something in yourself, then then it's generalized and you hate it in everyone else. Or if you like someone in another person, you have to like it in yourself. I just don't think that's the way humans work. There's a very big difference between what you view as acceptable for yourself and what you view as acceptable for other people, and that can even extend to what you view as attractive and what you view as okay, and everything else. Finding fat creators and that boosted her confidence, fine, good for her. Like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, it doesn't really affect me, and there's not really a whole idea there. She's just kind of sharing what worked for her in terms of confidence. I still think that there should be a priority of being a healthy weight, but if that's not her priority, as long as she's not shouting victimhood from the top of her lungs, then it's ultimately not my business. It's when it's when fat acceptance people refuse to do anything and then claim oppression, that's when that pisses me off. That's not what she's really doing here, though. It seems to be more of a confidence thing, so that's for her. That's for her. So her captions for this video are: fat phobes, go to the gym, you're fat, I was going to eat but you remind me not to, eat less, I feel bad for your kids. And then her next caption says, me, unbothered and living my best life. And this is something that I'm sorry, but I feel the need to comment on it. I haven't covered many of them because it hasn't been, like, there wasn't a whole lot to say about the videos themselves, so I didn't include it. But for the past, we're on March 21st now. I'm trying to get through the rest of March before I call this a video and call it good. I'll have been recording for over an hour, but I doubt I have even like 20 minutes worth of content. And it is what it is. But she has made, like, call out things going to people's pages and I think trying to roast them for saying things like you need to lose weight and stuff. And I felt conflicted about it because this was when she was like 38 weeks, 36 to 38 weeks pregnant. And I had some conflicting feelings about that. I didn't know when she was taking the comment from. And it was overall just something that I didn't necessarily want to comment on. But this is something I do want to say, in that you're not unbothered. You're not unbothered. If you were unbothered, you wouldn't be making these like clapback TikToks. If you're that bothered, then it's hitting a nerve. And it's something that I've noticed with the fat acceptance crowd of, I'm unbothered and living my best life. No, you're plenty bothered because you keep making TikToks and you keep responding to comments and you keep feeding the trolls. Like, you're plenty bothered. I've skipped over several ones with her responding to comments, and like I said before, I did that because she was pregnant and I was conflicted about it. I am commenting on this though because she's not unbothered. If she's living her best life, that's up for her to decide. I'm not going to fight that point, but you're not unbothered. Then this goes for a lot of the fat acceptance crowd. You're not unbothered because you clap back plenty. You talk about it plenty. You respond to comments. Oftentimes they just look like they're specifically trying to troll you. You're plenty bothered.
Why? Why it's always the plainest ass, Janest ass looking bitch trying to come for me? TJ Maxxinista.
So this is another situation. So the comment says, is this Photoshop? This body looks very awkward. And something I will say about A Witchy Dream, which I even saw like before she was pregnant, with some of the like TikToks that were used, God, like 2 years ago. And I think she still has them pinned on like the app, is that A Witchy Dream does have odd proportions. I think commenting this, like, people's bodies can just carry weight in a variety of ways, and I agree that sometimes it looks awkward, but I think commenting on someone's page for something that they can't control, trying to say that it looks photoshopped, is kind of rude. I will say that. She is clapping back saying, and what do you look like? Looks like you got your dog. That's nice. maybe drink your coffee and keep on keeping on and leave me the fuck out of it. Can't even show your face. So I don't disagree with her, Clapback. This is something, though, again, where I can't help but point back to that unbothered video. It clearly bothered you. I think this is something where this person was probably trying to look to get a rise out of you. It would be far better for you in so many ways to either delete the comment or just ignore it. Because what they're looking for is to get a rise. They're looking to get a reaction. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. You will be so much happier if you don't even fucking engage it with this shit.
Okay. So, plus size babe. Is that supposed to be a compliment? I thought it was photoshopped at first. That's definitely underhanded. This is giving I'm a bitch. This is giving I can't stand it when other people just live their fucking life. This is giving vatophobia. But anyway, so this thigh right here, this thigh, I was standing on a stool and I was making my legs smaller. Instead of standing, shoulder width apart to where my thighs all jiggle and shit, I'm standing like this, trying to make my legs look smaller. I'm doing a little dancey dance, a little dance. Woo!
So, for anyone who can't see the comment, it says, I don't think I've ever seen such skinny legs on a plus-size babe. I thought it was edited at first. I think, and I don't know if this is the same person that made the Photoshop comment. I wasn't really paying that much attention to the usernames. But again, this is not you being unbothered, sweetheart. Again, if this, I don't necessarily get, like, underhanded vibes from this comment, but I haven't been keeping track of her comments very much because I've been skipping so many of her TikToks. So perhaps it is meant to be underhanded and sarcastic and bitchy. I don't know. But even if it is, this is not you being unbothered. I say this not to criticize her. This is kind of meant as its own sort of advice, I guess. Stop engaging with it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You just looked very bothered, and you draw more attention to the comments that you don't like. I don't know. Maybe I have no right to say that. Just, it's one of those things. We only have a few days left of March, so I think I'm going to end it here. I've been recording for over an hour now. I have no idea how much content is actually going to make it into this video because I had to skip so many, but she makes like 10 TikToks a day. So it's taking me so long just to get through 2 months when I haven't even covered that much. Perhaps it was a mistake to cover her. I didn't realize, I thought there would be more content for me to respond to, and there might be going forward. I've already started on her TikTok. I've already invested nearly an hour and a half into this chick. I'm going to keep going with her, and we'll probably zoom through fairly quickly because so far she just hasn't had much for me to respond to. And we'll just see. We'll just continue with the Witchy Dream. And, worst case scenario, there might be a few videos that are light on content, and it is what it is. I want to get through all of the TikToks that I have saved and kind of end this series. Probably end this channel. Probably. I don't know. I've been enjoying it. I don't know if I'll end it completely or just dial it back and turn it into a channel that I just respond when I have something to talk about. Well, actually, I think I was planning on doing that anyway. Just stop the consistency. Not worry about the consistency. But regardless, this is what we have for today. I'm gonna update on the Otome game in the next video, but for now, I'm just gonna talk about myself. I got shit done this past week. Just fucking shit. I haven't barely gotten anything. I subbed 3 days this week, and then my class locked the assignments until fucking Thursday, but it was still due on Sunday. So I got to spend the first few days of my fucking break catching up on that shit, and I'm fucking pissed. And then this whole next week, even though it's on my break from work, I have 4 or 5 major, they're big assignments that I have to start preparing for because they're due in like 2 weeks, and this is kind of my big chance to get shit done. But at the same time, I'm kind of mad about it because I don't really want to spend my break from work working on these fucking assignments, when if they had been unlocked before, I could have finished them months ago, when I actually had some fucking motivation and a will to do well. I don't care anymore. The teacher has pissed me off in so many ways. She gave me a 2-on-1 assignment because I forgot to include something. And rather than just leaving a comment saying, hey, you left this out, like, I understand that I made a mistake. Fine, whatever. In my defense, this is the teacher that I have to read her instructions 5 times, and I'm not the only one. Because there have been other people that have posted in the help forum on this class saying, I need someone to explain what she's actually wanting from us because I don't understand. And someone has to, like, whittle it down to layman's terms because she goes on tangents midway through fucking instructions. So yes, I made a mistake on the assignment, but this instructor is not very good at communicating either. So I accidentally left something out on the assignment, and she gives me a 2 out of 10 for it. I go, okay, and I submitted it with it, but I'm like, what exactly did I do wrong? Because I have a hard time believing that I just forgot to add this one thing that's like for reference. And apparently it's a manipulation thing that she does when she needs to get someone's attention because she feels like people will just ignore her otherwise, so she gives us a bad grade. I didn't care for it. I'm a fucking adult. This is like, you don't have to do this manipulation bullshit on me. Like, I just it pissed me off. And then on top of that, it's just been one thing after another. It's just been, like, I don't want to go into everything that's happened, because it's not even, like, nothing huge has happened, and anything that was even moderately big that happened resolved itself within a day, but it just feels like it was just something after another every fucking day this week, where that caused an initial panic reaction, I guess, is the best way to put it, where I haven't been able to relax, and now I get to go into this week off worrying about these fucking assignments, and I want this quarter to be over because these classes are pissing me off so much, and I hate so much of it. I hate so much of it, especially because I can tell since I've been in the job, I'm in the job that this endorsement program is for. I'm only going through this last course that I'm doing, which will go through the summer, and I'm only doing it so that way I am eligible for the job that I want specifically in the education sphere when it becomes available, because they don't become available super often. So when it's available, I want to have all of my credentials lined up in a row and ready to go. I'm able to look at these classes and go, I'm not going to use most of this. This isn't like, and what I am going to use, I'm not going to use in the level of detail that you're trying to teach us. Like, no one does that. And it just, there's so much of it that just feels like a waste of my fucking time. So I'm going to stop pouting and being a baby. But I wasn't as productive creatively as I was hoping to be this week. I wasn't as productive academically as I was hoping to be this week because I ended up taking several sub jobs. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.